Hi, and welcome back to the Night Night Show. I'm your host, Billy Maddox, and we're here with Master Pancake Theatre. Say hi, guys.
Hi.
Hello, Texas students.
We got John closest to me, Joe in the middle, and Mac farthest away. I wish I could touch you, but out of my reach.
All right.
So you guys are from Master Pancake, which is kind of a weird thing to describe, really. Y'all take movies, you put them in a movie theater. They've already, they could be years old, decades old, and you sit there and you do comedy about the movie, problems with the movie, ideas in the movie. Can you describe it more aptly than that?
Well,
I don't think it would be hard to.
Okay.
we take stupid movies and we make jokes about them.
That was so concise.
If you've ever seen the old television cable TV show Mystery Science Theater 3000, then you've got an idea of what we do, except instead of doing it with robots in a TV studio, we do it live with humans at the Alamo Drafthouse pretty much every weekend.
And instead of doing movies that no one's heard of, and do movies that everyone's heard of.
Mm-hmm.
Such as Forrest Gump.
Yeah, I've got some critically acclaimed movies you've done, like Forrest Gump, Titanic, Blockbusters, Independence Day, Jurassic Park, E.T., stuff like that.
We didn't do Blockbusters, but all those other movies you mentioned we did.
And then I like to call the craptastic cinema, such as Mad Max Beyond Thunderdome. Catwoman. The Day After Tomorrow?
Day After Tomorrow.
Yeah, that was a treat.
Yeah.
So y'all, how many have y'all done now? About like 18, 19?
That's a good question.
We've been doing this show for about a year and a half, almost 2 years. I would say we've probably
2 years now.
done about 18 shows.
18, yeah.
More or less. 18 sounds like a good number.
That's a lot. Now, consider that we watched each one of these probably about 30 times each.
Yeah, you want to talk a little bit about prep and how y'all get ready?
Yeah, we watched a buttload of movies over the last 2 years. But I'd say that the prep form involves us sitting on a couch, getting a six-pack of beer, and watching it about 8 times.
Getting some cheap, stinky weed, whatever loose things we can shove into a syringe.
Jalapeno Cheez-Its and Jeff Foxworthy brand ham jerky.
Oh, man.
Oh, Foxworthy brand. It's risky.
But like Joe says,
that was a lie. Yeah.
that's funny. We watch it about 8 times before we bring it out in front of the unsuspecting public. But then even when we do it live, it's still sort of growing. Like every show that we do, we try to add new jokes or take out the jokes that don't work.
Yeah.
There are only a few of those. But,
yes.
But if there are any, we take them out and we try to make it better every time. And we try to create a different experience every night for every time that we do it. I don't mind it when the audience shouts out funny stuff. Even though I pretend to mind, like I'll say something like, I hate it when the audience is funnier than we are, but a lot of times, I like that when the audience says funny stuff, but a lot of times it's just like really drunk people who come to 6th Street and just sort of get blitzed and lose themselves. And
wander into a movie theater.
There was a guy,
on here?
I mean, seriously, I think that's sometimes what happens, but do you remember there was a guy at the Forrest Gump show a couple of weeks ago who he was obviously completely drunk, and he would just say the line that had been said in the movie at the time, and then he would repeat the line. So Jenny would say, "Run, Forrest, run," and then he would say, "Run, Forrest, run." Pretty much for every single line in the movie.
It was actually Forrest Gump in the audience that night. He was drunk, but it was actually him. And
You did have
really
the
awkward.
minimal IQ.
Yeah.
Yeah, I was there. I didn't. That wasn't the night I was there, obviously.
Unless that was you.
Yeah.
In which case.
Let's not go there.
All right.
You're a drunk.
Right now, Irish coffee.
Because it's Irish, it automatically means drunk.
Yeah, what are you trying to say about
taking a
fine
turn
people? About the orange and the green? What's the deal?
I'm sorry, I'm Northern Irish. I don't truly represent.
He's the orange side. Get a load of this guy.
Yeah. He's the thing in the Hulk versus Thing war.
Drinking Protestant whiskey.
Yeah.
Right. That's embarrassing. Protestant whiskey, I resent that. So y'all, speaking of whiskey, you also have a drinking game during the show.
Yeah.
We do. We want people to get drunk, but not overly drunk.
You don't condone that.
No,
necessarily.
Absolutely not. Just drunk enough to enjoy our show, which does take maybe 2 or 3 drinks before it starts kicking in. But yeah, we have drinking games based on catchphrases from the movie or things that happen over and over again in the movie.
Yeah.
What's a good drinking game that we've done recently?
I'm just starting from right now. For Friday the 13th,
Oh, yeah.
we're listening for the iconic sound. That's it. Yeah.
And I remember E.T. Y'all did the key jangle,
Yeah. Every time they show that guy's keys on his crotch.
which was way more times than I would have thought of.
Why do we want to see that? I don't know.
Steven
weird.
Spielberg has a fetish.
Yeah.
And it's waist keys.
Waist keys.
Keys can be very emotive, though,
They can.
in certain situations.
I think they are a phallic symbol, if you consider, key. And
Unlocking the doors.
slots.
Actually, actor Nick Nolte was originally up for that role as Keys, but couldn't quite get the jingle down. That's why they cast Peter Coyote, I believe.
All right.
Yeah. True fact.
How about that?
All right, so how do you guys choose the movies? You watch dozens of movies. What is the defining choice variant?
That's a tough one.
That is a real tough one. We sort of started off a long time ago just sort of copying the formula of MST3K. So we would do like just terrible B movies, Attack of the Killer, Naked Women from Mars, stuff like that nobody had ever heard of. But then we sort of
knock that one.
It is a great one. But then we started doing sort of more popular movies that people had seen before, and we found that people enjoyed those more and would actually come to the theater to see those mocked. So that's sort of the basic criteria is, one, it has to be a pretty well-known movie like Forrest Gump or like Jurassic Park we did recently. But then beyond that, probably the only criterion aside from that is it shouldn't be a comedy already. Like it should either be an action movie, an adventure movie, a thriller,
Drama.
tearjerker like Forrest Gump, anything.
Girl movie.
Okay.
Yeah.
I have a list, and I want you
Okay.
to, and you're going to choose between two options. So first we've got A Christmas Story or the original Willy Wonka and the Chocolate Factory.
I say
Willy-
Christmas Story.
Ooh, I say Willy Wonka.
Oh, yeah, well, they would both probably be good, but I am like a secret, or maybe not so secret, hater of A Christmas Story. I know that everybody loves it. It's everybody's beloved Christmas movie, but I just, that movie's so boring.
You
Okay.
have no heart.
All right, let's
I
get
have a lot of heart. I cry every time I see Forrest, but Christmas Story,
Temple of Doom or Romancing the Stone.
we did Temple of Doom, actually.
Really?
You
did?
You weren't there. This was in the old incarnation again. We did a choose your own adventure show where we had the audience bring DVDs of movies they wanted to see mocked, and somebody brought Temple of Doom and thought, on paper it's a great idea because it's the worst of the Indiana Jones movies, but for some reason it just wasn't that funny to make fun of. Maybe we weren't on that night, or
They're
maybe
they're branding, fake Indian children. It's not really. I wouldn't think it's like that. I'd go for Romancing the Stone all the way. You got Danny DeVito, which would be really fun to play in a skit. You've got Kathleen Turner, who was considered attractive for some reason at one point.
At one point.
Oh.
There's that throaty voice.
All right. We gotta wrap it up.
Bolton.
But tell us a little bit about how we can find more information and maybe see a show.
I'm glad you asked, because I wasn't going to offer that unless you did ask, because of the rather stringent rules involved in not-for-profit television and radio. But since you did ask, I will tell you that if you go to the website originalalamo.com, you will be able to find all the information on our latest shows, and you will be able to buy tickets for our latest shows. And if you want to get more information about us as a group, we have a MySpace page, and we also have a Facebook page. And we don't have a Friendster page. Sorry, old school peeps out there.
What about Diaryland?
And so,
No, all right.
and y'all are doing Friday the 13th right now, and y'all are going to go back to Forrest Gump after that?
That's right. We're going to do an encore. For the next 2 weekends, the last 2 weekends in October, we're doing Friday the 13th, and then we'll do 2 encore weekends of Forrest Gump. And I don't know if this is going to air at the right time, but for those of you who know how to get to October 26th by going back in time or maybe forward in time, on October 26th, Sunday, we're going to do a special one-time only Choose Your Own Adventure. So if you want to bring that DVD of that movie that you've always wanted to see mocked, that for whatever reason we haven't chosen, like something a little too hot for television, like Schindler's List.
Romancing the Bone.
Or High School Musical, if you want to see that, Mark, we could do that.
And if this airs after that, it went great.
Yeah, it sure did. It was
amazing.
fantastic.
It was the best.
They ended up.
The girl in the red dress was